So eating well is obviously important for everybody. However, for those who are going through cancer treatment, it's really important to focus on food handling. And this is specifically because during treatment, especially with chemotherapy, radiation, marrow or stem cell transplants, these types of treatments could actually cause a weakened immune system. So you might be more susceptible to infection. And sometimes, so therefore, focusing on foods and the way you're handling foods, whether that's shopping, cooking, preparation, is really important in order to decrease the risk of food poisoning. Okay? So in today's class, we'll really be focusing on some of the things and those steps that are necessary to take, whether that's, kind of the shopping process, even the preparing, and also looking at food safety for storage, like regarding leftovers. Okay? So the first recipe is a autumn-based inspired soup. So yeah, tell us about food safety with that.
Yes, okay, so yeah, we're gonna go through 3 recipes today. And as we go through, we're gonna sort of sprinkle in these great little food safety tips. And starting off with the soup, the first thing, that we want to think about is washing, right? We assume that, we wash everything, it's great, but even items that do have a peel on the outside, do not skip on washing those items. So I think one of the biggest culprits is like an onion, right? And you figure, you know what, I'll cut it in half and then peel it off because it's protected by the skin, right? The problem is that anytime you pass your knife through an ingredient, you're taking whatever was on the outside now through to the middle. So if that onion was a little dirty on the outside, now you're contaminating the inside of the onion by cutting it, okay? So even if items have a peel, you do want to make sure that you are washing it very, very well. Now, washing it is, it's not really hard. We're not talking about using any special soaps or additives or anything like that. The recommendation right now is warm water, and for anything that might be like a harder vegetable, like a potato or squash, you can use a scrub with that as well, but nothing beyond that. So it's fairly simple, dry it well, and you're good to go.
Yeah, just one more thing to add. If you're noticing any bruises or any parts that are damaged, cut them off.
Yes, okay? Absolutely.
And then in the washing category, make sure that all the surfaces that you're using as well are washed. So cutting boards, knives, plates, etc.
Yeah, definitely. One last thing I'm going to add on to that is making sure that you are organized and have a cleared station. You might have some items out there that maybe aren't involved in the cooking. Get rid of it because it can actually contaminate some of your ingredients if you drop some onions and hit something or whatever it may be. And a dish towel as well. Dish towels, you should treat your dish towel like, I don't know, I would change it every day. I know that not a lot of people change it every day, but you got to think that if you're using your dish towel to clean something, bacteria can grow on your dish towel. So you should be changing it as often as you change your underwear. I know that sounds weird, but just think of it that way. Think of it that way. And we don't have to get into that too much, but you'll remember that way. Just change it often. Okay. So we're gonna start off with our soup. We're gonna use some aromatics. That's the first thing that we're working with. So we have some beautiful onion that we're gonna add to our pot. It's over medium heat, and have a little bit of olive oil in there. I'll turn up the heat just a little bit. So I just want just a light sizzle if we're working by our sound there. And we're going to use some garlic as well. This is a very, very simple, hearty soup. And so the aromatics at the beginning are what it's going to contribute to the flavor, but that can be really whatever you want. So we're going to keep it pretty simple. You can definitely add some celery. You can definitely add some carrot to this if you want. but we're just gonna go with some onion and some garlic to start. And with the garlic, I'm just crushing the side of it. Again, make sure you wash the cloves. That's another one. Maybe we don't wash the garlic, right? But if I'm crushing it and I'm gonna be exposing the inside of the garlic to the outside of the garlic, we wanna make sure that the outside is clean. So we have crushed the garlic, and I'm just gonna leave that whole, and that's gonna go in. Ginger as well. Ginger, wash again really well. You can scrub it. You don't, as long as you wash the ginger well, you don't really have to peel it. But if it does have, like Stephanie mentioned, any like bruises or gnarly bits, then you're gonna want to remove that either with a knife or a peeler.
Yeah. Sometimes a spoon I find is easy
Yeah,
to
spoon is
scrape
a
off.
nice one as well.
You could definitely eat it. It's kind of just more fiber.
I'm just gonna use a couple slices and throw it in there. So I have some really nice aromatics, and we want to cook that down a bit, maybe a couple minutes just until soft. And then to bump up the flavor even more, we're using 5-spice. Has anyone used 5-spice before? Yeah. Yes, it is yum. I love 5-spice. So usually, typically, the 5-spice is ginger, cinnamon, clove, Szechuan peppercorn, and star anise. So it's very aromatic. It has a lot of these warm fall and winter sort of aromas going on there. And so we're going to add this at this stage. Anytime we use dry spices, we do want to add it at the beginning when we have our hot oil. And that is going to get the most out of the spices. You'll probably start to smell it soon. It's going to hit the front row first, and then it's going to work its way back. But now is the time that I do want to add it. If I add it at the end, I'm really not going to get a lot out of the dried spices, and I'm going to kind of have this like chalky aftertaste too, which I don't want. So we do want to add that at the beginning. So we're going to let that just cook down a little bit, get nice and happy, get aromatic, and then we're going to move on to our main ingredient. So we are using black beans. That's a black bean soup. Yeah. So you can do this from dried. I did this from dried, and it requires a little bit more work. Right? You soak it overnight, and then you want to boil it until tender. If you have a pressure cooker, even better. It takes like less than 10 minutes. If not, it could take an hour to 2 hours, depending on the beans that you're using. But they're great. It's a very cheap ingredient to use. You know, really nutritious. Yeah,
it's a good source of fiber and protein. Right, so especially if you do have a weakened immune system, that might, cause some feelings of tiredness. The protein is helpful in terms of maintaining your energy levels, but also to help build your immune system, and even your muscles. Okay, so this helps build and repair any cells in the body. So Jeremy spoke about using boiling or soaking the beans.
Soaking, yeah.
But you can obviously, again, if you're feeling fatigued or you want, less to do, you can buy canned. Just drain, rinse the beans. But even before you open it, wash the surface, right? So when you're using that opener, right, you're cleaning that surface, nothing's going in.
Yeah, really important point. Also, if you are using dried beans, and this is sort of a good rule of thumb with dried grains too, really important if you are immune compromised, that just give it a little rinse ahead of time. I like to do that with any sort of beans. Beans as well are one of those ingredients you might want to sort through. So what I do is I put them onto either a plate or a pan, just shake them flat, and you might find a couple little treasures in there that aren't edible, some stones or twigs. That's just, it's part of the harvest. You want to remove those ahead of time, okay? So we're going to add our beans to this. Now, if it comes from a can, you do want to drain and rinse that liquid. If you are doing it yourself, that boiling liquid, so not the soaking liquid, soaking liquid you do want to discard, okay? Then you're going to start with fresh water, and you're going to cook those dried beans. That liquid there, you can absolutely use in the soup. It is super tasty, super nutritious. It's going to have a really nice sort of thickness to thicken the soup as well. So you can use that in your soup. And then that's it. Then we're going to cover it with some veg stock or chicken stock. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We're going to let that simmer. The beans are already cooked. So at that point, we can just par blend it, and you have this beautiful bean soup with all of the cinnamon and ginger and garlic, wonderful aroma, beautiful as is. A little addition, because it's fall, Halloween's around the corner, we want to throw some pumpkin in there as well. It's one of those ingredients that's really, really easy to prepare. So you can use squash, pumpkin. I actually use a Japanese pumpkin, which I've used before. It's called a kabocha squash. It's a little green on the outside, delicious, really easy to prepare. Washing it first, so that's really the most important step. You just want to wash it on the outside, poke it with a fork a couple times, and then you pop it in the oven 375 for about an hour 20, just until it's soft. And so we can start with that before we even make the soup.
Yeah, and you could use sweet potato, right?
Sweet potato, this works with.
Carrots.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, these are harder ingredients that can be a little more challenging, can require a little bit more energy to prepare. They're also a little bit more dangerous, right? Food safety, we're talking definitely from a bacteria point of view, but from just safety with a knife is also really, really important.
Right, you don't want to chase that.
Yes, round ingredients are not the easiest to cut. So let something like the oven do the work or the microwave do the work, and it's going to soften for you. And so it's much easier to cut in half, and it's good to go. It's already done, right? So all I have to do at this point.
Super easy.
Yeah, so easy. Scoop out the seeds, and we're good to go.
And
in the microwave, how long would it take?
Yeah, so everyone's microwave is a little different, but I found about 3 to 4 sessions of about 3 minutes. I wouldn't do like 20 in one shot. I would break it up a little bit, and then just until it's nice and soft, and you're good to go. Yeah. Sorry, Steph. And that's it. So I'm gonna take out a nice, beautiful chunk, and you can see the color of this this pumpkin is just beautiful.
So again, any orange type of fruit or vegetable is giving you that beta carotene, which is vitamin A, also a very important vitamin for helping with your immune system.
Beautiful. All right, so we're ready to plate this up. We'll get our bowl. And again, excellent just as is, but now we're gonna get a little chefy, right? So maybe we'll, because it's been enclosed inside the skin of the squash, so it really hasn't seen any seasoning at all. We don't add any oil, no salt, nothing while it's softening, but we can add a little bit after. So maybe just a small pinch of salt. If you like chili flakes, you can maybe throw some chilies on there. And some fresh, this is cilantro. This I keep under locked, closed door. It's not for everybody. It's not for everyone. I like it. All right, and with the soup, you can have it as is, or what I like to do is just half blend it. So you still have some of the texture from the beans, but it's gonna be a little bit softer, so it's like half, and a little bit more creamy because you've half blended it. So that's it. So a little bit of that black bean, maybe a couple nice chunks of that squash in there.
Right. What beans? There's actually, I could give you, so there's different types of fiber. So depending on why you're staying away from the fiber, every bean will have a certain amount of soluble and insoluble fiber. So for those who are experiencing diarrhea, for example, you want to stick to having more soluble fibers. I can actually give you a chart later on the different beans and which ones have more of that soluble fiber, which is the one that you want to have more.
That's it. I just put some pumpkin seeds on top. Again, getting chefy here. It's not necessary, but very festive, very fall. And yeah, that is our first recipe.
Yeah.
Good.